Hello everyone, welcome to another weekly market review. It is the 5th of April 2021. We are at a pivotal time for cryptocurrencies, possibly a great time to build long-term swing positions. Let's look at what our potential game plans are. Total market cap on the weekly time frame, we've had another new all-time high, strong close above resistance. What we discussed in the previous week, quite similar things are manifesting. We discussed price for price to potentially reach the top of this channel, where we did get a bit of a grind, but we got there. And depending on what Bitcoin does, either we grind or we make that slightly bigger correction. This was steep. I don't know if we can come down so steep, but in terms of good support levels for the total market cap, it's still all the way down here. This is the 6-hour level. We do have another confirmed support level, but this is on lower time frames, so we have to see which one it is where price could stall if it is that we are getting this drop. We just quickly pull out a fib. You can see how strong this move was. We just kept grinding, kept moving up. Altcoins have done their thing. So 0.5 is what generally total likes, but we have to see if it is at all that we get there. Both these 8.6 and the weekly level both have decent confluence with fibs. Essentially we could possibly have a monthly pivot right here as well, and the monthly open is right here, so about 1.8. so the monthly open is at this level. I would say that if we are losing the monthly open, there is a bigger potential that we can get to this weekly level or this 6-hour level. We'll discuss cleaner levels on Bitcoin. You can see them, and essentially all this is doing is giving you a great entry for whatever altcoin swing long trades you want to take. But even for scalps, guys, alt BTC, lot of very good looking alt BTC pairs. When BTC is dipping, I don't see why there is a need for fear. It's more getting close to a time where you're going to have to want to be aggressive and play this for what it is. These kind of market conditions will not repeat themselves again and again. Altcoin market cap had a brilliant 30% move over the last 10 days, and essentially if you look at the structure, it is about a 50-day structure and we have broken up out of. And also you can see how bullish it is, how different it looks from the Bitcoin chart, because this is when BTC dips, and even if you're scalp longing, you get a very, very strong reaction, because the market is just bubbling and the market is just ripe. So things, they bounce really, really quickly, especially if they have really good momentum against Bitcoin already. So what I would say is, even if BTC has to go significantly lower, I would say close to 5400, this would still quite probably find support much higher. Even now you can see BTC is correcting, and altcoins are really, really holding their ground well. So such a bullish chart. It's out of a 50-day range, so you can see the last few times we've had a few ranges. This is a 25-day range. Once we got out of that 25-day range, made about a 80% move. Here's another smaller range, but basically the market has been so bullish, guys, that we consolidate. This is a 40-day range, and we get another big 60% move. So we've made a 50-day range and broken up again from it, and you can see, the first retrace was pretty heavy, and after the second strong move we got, this retrace wasn't even so strong. So you can see how strong this market is. I would say people are kind of getting a bit paranoid and panicking every time BTC drops. I should say this is the time to be the contrary, just be opportunistic and just look at the opportunities that are right before you. Looking at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, so you can see this is not a measure of strength by any standards. The way the previous week has closed, failed to close above resistance. This the week before, it created pretty big wicks, but never got a follow through after. So if you look at the 4 hour, I'm gonna turn on my annotations, and I'd say I'd have a decent read on BTC right now. Was looking for this move down while people were looking for the big breakout. I saw some big accounts on Twitter going in heavy up here. There were a lot of signs for potential failure. And now what we are looking at is reasonable places to find support, and what would reflect confirmation for continuation. I would say we should map out the monthly open. So the monthly opens is right about here. It is kind of mapped out. It's basically the bottom of this block. But the monthly open, once BTC can reclaim it, I would say that would be the time it's ready to really move up. But for now, it is really reflecting what is a potential consolidation, because this move and a move back up, this is not done yet. We pull out a fib, it is probably a 382 right now. But a solid support, I would say, if you can just look at the most recent historics, we have a swing level slightly lower below, close to about 54k. So this would be a very good platform for BTC to build and move out of. There is a few other volume metrics that also show support which is close to these VWAP bands. So I would say if prices to come all the way down here, even for BTC, even though there are better opportunities in altcoins right now, this would become a very nice place to end up managing risk if it is that price can get here. So for now, this is looking good. The blue scribble is looking decent to manifest, and game plan remains the same, guys. If you do end up getting this move, look for odds which are looking very good and strong against BTC, and they're likely to outperform Bitcoin in the current environment. So yes, large caps against BTC, and this I would say is currently the most significant chart for cryptocurrencies, because this is not just the newer coins, the shiny coins. This is the old stuff, guys. This has EOS, this has TRX, this has Neo, so a lot of old coins, and this is a weekly time frame, so this is not something that is going on a lower time frame, but very, very clean structure. This is something I mentioned, though, in a inverted head and shoulders, what I prefer is the right shoulder to be shallow, but this is as deep as the left shoulder, so it still works, and it's a very, very clean level. The 2020 yearly open, we have had a weekly close above this. For the world large caps, essentially this is TRX that's pushing this hard, but EOS did really well also. Neo gained significant strength. This really reflects on what potentially can come, guys, because if the old coins are starting to outperform Bitcoin on a weekly time frame, that just becomes so significant for what can come over the next couple of months. So this, I would say, is very significant as a chart, and if you are looking for a setup on this, we have had the break and we have had the confirmation. If we are getting a test of the 2020 yearly open, you can be looking for strength in some of the large cap pairs. Here's DeFi against BTC. You've seen me share this chart multiple times, and you can see again this is a 61-day consolidation, guys. It's slightly longer now. I would say another couple of days you can add to it, but once we do break out from here, this should get a very, very significant move, and that doesn't mean you just start aping in right now. You have to find places to manage risk, because you have to understand this is a very unforgiving market, guys. I was speaking about this in early February, in mid February as well. It's really, really tragic. People get so caught up in their short term gains that really forget to look at the bigger picture. You saw so many liquidations around the 15th, 20th of February, that moved down for BTC. And that would have been just so many traders losing all their capital. So you're coming close to these big life changing opportunities, but because of your greed and because of the lack of your ability to manage risk, to actually find the places of value, you end up losing them again and again. So this is another big potential opportunity, but still you have to be smart about it. Find the right places to manage risk. There is no confirmation still, I would say. There is very good signs of strength. You can see this is the VWAP. This is the VWAP that we've had since the August top for these BTC pairs, and you can see how much resistance it had. Price was not moving above it for all of Feb, and now we are starting to flip it into support. So it's very, very significant, and it is showing strength. And once we are above this, you can expect similar moves. Just a technical target, it gives you significant room for upside. So this is the entire index. So just a technical target gives you another 60-70% move. That is so significant. If you're trading the pairs which have strength, you're trading the pairs which have good charts. So it's very, very significant, guys. We're so close to a big opportunity. I would say just don't be greedy. Find the right place to manage risk, and make it. So last review I told you that I was mentioning that tech generally gains strength in the second quarter, and now we're looking at leaders. Looks like semis are already starting to outperform the SPX, and this is a very key level. I would say once this quarterly level is taken out, we could be in for another run in the semis. They could possibly be leading tech right now, but you would expect the rest of the tech market to follow as well. It's a very significant level up here, the quarterly level. Once this is taken out, this is from this is from the 2000 bubble. Very significant. Once this is taken out, you have a lot of upside on this, and this is on a higher time frame. Here's some of the high time frame metrics for the traditional markets, and what we're looking at is the couple of other instances where we have 4 straight quarters with at least 5% gains. We have just done that, but you can see at what parts of the market these were. And this is a quarterly chart. So the last time we did this in 95, we had, I think, 12 to 14 straight quarters of positive gains. So this is very, very significant if we really look at the big picture, in terms of where potentially we could be. So just something very, very macro, but significant if you want to really understand which way the market is really going to go over a long period of time. S&P has been making highs after highs, and what we can see is that each time this happens, it is actually a cluster. This is when big bull markets, big runs, they happen for long periods of time, and then you have long periods of absolute sideways, and you can see that we are part of that bigger cluster. Very interestingly, this is LPL research, and they have made a box all the way close to 2026, 27, which is my target. If you have looked at the macro picture for me, that is my target for when this big run that we are in the middle of, it can last. Last week in commodities, we had looked at copper, and currently it is the commodity which is showing good relative strength. But as of now, there is no clear signal. We can still potentially be in a range, and the confirmation of a breakout for this range, you need to break the high that made the low, which is all the way up here, close to 4.2, 4.21. So if you really want to play this safe and wait for the consolidation to play out, you would want price to start moving up here. You flip this into support, or you build a higher high above this and make a higher low. Then these would be the two decent entry points for this. You can set your alerts and wait for a setup like this. And otherwise, you could also be looking at support, sweep of lows. Did not get any sweep, so currently I am not in. So I'd be looking for a sign for either of these two signals to play out.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and go ahead and share it with someone else. And if you have any questions about what we covered today, please leave them in the comments and I will be sure to get back to you or answer them in my next video. For more trading content and education, go ahead and click on the video on your right. Thanks for watching, guys, and cheers!